In May 2025, the United States Consumer Product Safety Commission issued an emergency recall on over 103,000 kitchen faucets sold through Amazon. These were not recalled for a cosmetic flaw or a loose handle. They were pulled from the market because they were leaching dangerous levels of lead into the drinking water of American families. One faucet exceeded the safe lead limit by more than 500%. But the recall was just the beginning. When independent investigators tested 19 of the most popular budget faucets flooding the American market, 17 of them failed drinking water health and safety standards. We are going to expose the engineering shortcuts destroying this industry and reveal the only 3 faucets that master plumbers actually install in their own homes. If you have ever walked into a Home Depot or a Lowe's, you have probably stood in front of a wall of faucets and believed you were looking at a competitive marketplace. You see Moen, you see Delta, you see Kohler, Pfister, Peerless, Brizo, Hansgrohe, and Glacier Bay, and you assume these are independent companies competing to build a better product for your kitchen. That is an illusion. The reality is that 3 massive corporations dominate the American faucet market. Fortune Brands Innovations owns Moen, but it also owns Master Lock, Therma-Tru Doors, and SentrySafe. Faucets are just one product line in a diversified corporate portfolio. Masco Corporation owns Delta, Brizo, and Peerless and holds a majority stake in the German brand Hansgrohe. With 2024 revenue approaching $8 billion, Masco is not a plumbing company. It is a Wall Street conglomerate that happens to make faucets. Kohler is privately held and keeps its empire under one name. Together, these 3 conglomerates account for over 45% of the kitchen faucet market alone, and when you add in their sub-brands, their dominance expands even further. Pfister, which most people still think of as an independent American company, changed hands when its parent division was acquired by a Swedish lock conglomerate called Assa Abloy in 2023 as part of a $4.3 billion deal. A United States customs ruling confirmed that Pfister faucets are now assembled in China from Chinese and Vietnamese parts. The brand name on the box has become completely disconnected from the people actually building the product. And that disconnect is where the real danger begins, because the material inside your faucet has fundamentally changed. The golden age of American faucet manufacturing was built by craftsmen, not corporations. In 1929, an Armenian immigrant named Alex Manouchian founded a small screw products company in Detroit. In 1954, Manouchian invented the single-handle washerless faucet. The internal cam mechanism was shaped like the Greek letter delta, and it gave the product its name. Those early deltas were solid brass from top to bottom. By 1997, Masco had sold over 120 million single-handle faucets in the United States alone, and many of those original units are still working perfectly today. For most of the 20th century, a quality kitchen faucet was built the same way a quality firearm was built. You started with solid forged brass, typically 58 to 90% copper, and you machined every component from that single material. Brass is dense. It resists corrosion. It can be rebuilt and repaired for decades. But solid brass is expensive. And when publicly traded conglomerates took over the industry, the quarterly earnings pressure created a demand for cheaper alternatives, so the manufacturers found one. It is called Zamak, and it is a die-cast zinc alloy that contains roughly 90 to 96% zinc. Zamak is cheaper to produce, easier to mold into complex shapes, and here is the critical detail that most consumers will never discover. Zinc has a density of about 6.6 grams per cubic centimeter, which is close enough to brass that a Zamak faucet feels heavy in your hand. It feels like quality, but it is not quality. Unlike brass, zinc undergoes a process called intergranular corrosion. The metal literally rots from the inside out. One manufacturer described it perfectly. The body swells up and crumbles like a dry cookie. You will never see this happening because the failure occurs underneath the chrome finish, inside the body where the water flows. By the time you notice a drip or a crack, the entire faucet is structurally compromised and cannot be repaired. And then the manufacturers went even further. They started replacing the internal mechanical components with plastic. Modern budget faucets now use plastic cartridges, plastic spray nozzles, plastic pop-up drains, and plastic supply line connectors hidden inside a shiny chrome shell that looks identical to the real thing. To make the deception complete, many manufacturers now separate the internal waterway from the decorative outer shell. Because the shell never touches water, they can build it from cheap zinc or even leaded brass without violating safety standards. The exterior you admire in the showroom is a costume hiding inferior construction underneath. And here is where the big box store game gets truly deceptive. Multiple licensed plumbers have documented that when you buy a Moen or a Delta faucet at Home Depot or Lowe's, you are often not getting the same product that a plumber buys at his local supply house. The big box version comes with a thin stamped sheet metal base plate and a chrome-plated plastic spray nozzle. The supply house version of the exact same brand comes with a heavy die-cast metal base plate and an all-metal nozzle. Even when the model numbers appear identical, the internal SKU numbers are different. The pop-up drain in the big box version is plastic. The pop-up drain in the supply house version is brass. The big box retailers commission these lighter, cheaper configurations because their customer is shopping on price, not on engineering, and the brands are happy to comply because volume is what drives their margin targets. Home Depot's house brand, Glacier Bay, sits at the absolute bottom of this quality ladder. Professional plumbers rank it at the lowest rung of quality in the entire industry. These units retail for $80 to $150, and some of them fail in as little as 2 years. When they fail, there are no replacement parts because the models are discontinued so quickly that the parts inventory is liquidated. Your $80 faucet becomes an orphan product with no way to repair it. You throw it away and buy another one, which is exactly what the manufacturer designed you to do. But cheap materials and planned obsolescence are not the most dangerous part of this story. The most dangerous part is what is coming out of your tap. In May 2025, Fortune Brands Innovations partnered with IAPMO, the International Association of Plumbing and Mechanical Officials, to test 19 of the top-selling budget faucets flooding the American market from overseas. The results were devastating. 17 of 19 faucets failed drinking water, health, and safety standards. 11 were leaching lead above the legally allowable limit, and one faucet exceeded that limit by more than 500%. 15 contained chemicals linked to cancer, birth defects, and organ damage. And every single one of the 6 foreign-made pressure balancing shower valves that were tested failed. The temperature safety standard, with one exceeding the safe threshold by 750%. That means a child stepping into a shower controlled by one of those valves could be hit with water hot enough to cause third-degree burns in seconds. Aaron Boras, Executive Vice President at Fortune Brands, testified before the United States Senate and delivered a number that should terrify every homeowner in America. Between 2020 and 2024, up to an estimated 35 million cheap, off-brand, foreign-made faucets were imported into the United States. That is roughly 1 for every 10 Americans. And the counterfeiting problem makes it worse. Boras told the Senate that when his team searched for a single genuine Moen valve online, they found one real Moen product surrounded by 41 counterfeit listings. He said that consumers have no chance of telling a real product from a fake, and neither do the most experienced plumbers. This is not just a health crisis, it is a financial catastrophe hiding inside your walls. According to the Insurance Information Institute, water damage and freezing account for approximately 24% of all homeowners' insurance claims. The average water damage claim costs between $12,000 and $14,000, and roughly 1 in every 67 insured homes files a water damage claim each year. 53% of non-weather water damage claims are plumbing related. A single failed supply line connection on a cheap faucet can release 200 to 500 gallons of water per hour into your kitchen floor, and a burst fitting can generate a $25,000 to $50,000 insurance claim overnight. Your $40 Amazon faucet just cost you more than a new car. So if the entire faucet aisle is designed to fail, what do you actually install in your home? The answer comes from the people who see the inside of these products every single day. Master plumbers have 3 faucets they trust with their own money, and not a single one of them comes from the big box shelf. The first faucet is Moen, and the reason is not the faucet itself, it is the cartridge. Moen's 1225 single-handle cartridge is the most widely installed faucet cartridge in American history. It has been the engine inside most single-handle Moens since the 1960s, and it is stocked at every plumbing supply house in the country. When a plumber in Arizona says that every plumber in Phoenix carries them, he is not exaggerating. But the real advantage is the warranty. Moen offers a lifetime limited warranty that covers leaks, drips, and finish defects for as long as the original purchaser owns the home. And unlike most manufacturer warranties that are designed to frustrate you into giving up, Moen actually honors theirs. Plumbers and homeowners across the country consistently report that Moen will ship a free replacement cartridge to your door without even asking for a receipt. You call the number, describe the problem, and the part arrives. And the rebuild itself takes about 15 minutes with a simple puller tool that any homeowner can operate. Moen is the faucet you can always fix. The second faucet is Delta, and the reason is the valve technology. Delta's Diamond Seal ceramic disc valve is rated for 5 million cycles and is specifically engineered to resist hard water mineral buildup. If you live anywhere in the Sun Belt or the Midwest where the water is loaded with calcium and magnesium, this valve matters more than anything else on the specification sheet. Delta also uses a system called InnoFlex, where the supply lines come pre-attached to the faucet body. This eliminates the connection point where most leaks originate, and it cuts 8 to 12 minutes off every installation. Delta parts are stocked at every major plumbing supplier in the country. Their lifetime warranty covers all faucets manufactured after January 1st, 2019. Plumbing professionals across multiple states report that Moen and Delta together dominate their residential service calls. Delta is the faucet that survives mineral-heavy water. But the third faucet is the one that no big box store will ever sell you, and it is the best kept secret in the plumbing trade. It is a commercial-grade, solid brass faucet from either Chicago Faucets or T&S Brass. These are the faucets you see bolted into restaurant kitchens, hospital surgical suites, and industrial facilities where failure is simply not an option. They are built with thick-walled, heavy-cast, forged brass bodies that can be rebuilt, essentially, forever. Chicago Faucets uses a legendary cartridge system called the Quatern, and one veteran plumber with over 40 years of remodeling experience reports he has never seen a single Quatern cartridge fail. Chicago still manufactures replacement parts for faucets they built as far back as 1913. T&S Brass is still made and assembled in the United States. These faucets will never win a design award. They will never appear in a home renovation magazine. But a licensed plumber who has spent 30 years watching every brand of residential faucet corrode, leak, and crumble will go home at the end of the day, walk into his own kitchen, and turn on a solid brass commercial faucet that his grandchildren will still be using decades from now. That is an endorsement that no amount of advertising can buy. The American faucet industry is a $4.4 billion market that is projected to surpass $6 billion by 2030, and the big brands are counting on you to shop with your eyes instead of your hands. They are counting on you to pick the faucet with the prettiest finish and the lowest price tag without ever asking what metal is hiding inside the body. But now you know what the professionals know. Buy from a plumbing supply house, not the big box shelf. Insist on a solid brass body with a ceramic disc valve. Look for the NSF 61 certification mark on the box. And never underestimate the value of a faucet that was engineered to be repaired instead of replaced. If you found this video valuable, hit subscribe so you do not miss the next product we expose. Because the faucet aisle is not the only place where corporate consolidation is quietly destroying American quality, and we are just getting started.